How's it, dude? Huawei. Just 6 years ago, their phone business was number 3 in the world with 10% of the market. Then, it was banned in several of their largest markets. Today, the company is a fraction of its former self, but I managed to get a hold of one of their phones. Let's take a look at what the company is up to nowadays and figure out what exactly happened to the company that was once on top of the world. This video is sponsored by Hears. Okay, in my recent popular video on phone OSs, I mentioned Huawei very briefly. It's true that Huawei is the distant third competitor in phone OS nowadays, but in some other markets they're actually number 1. So in order to figure out exactly why this company has been able to hang on, I managed to ship one of their phones here to the States, where you can't buy one legally. I'm going to use it as my main device for a week, along with some other Huawei devices, and get to the bottom of it. Before we get to that though, let's figure out what caused this in the first place. Okay, Huawei is a Chinese devices manufacturer that started in the late 80s. They started out doing telecommunications equipment and personal devices, often contracting for the Chinese government, before finding their stride in the 2000s with the introduction of the smartphone. They quickly expanded, similar to other Asian device brands you may be familiar with. They offered a wide variety of products, laptops, watches, earbuds, all at a competitive price. Soon, they cemented themselves as a major global competitor in smartphones. You can essentially think of them as the Apple of China, because many of their devices mimicked the design and features of Apple devices. They're always neck and neck with Xiaomi, which is another Chinese brand who specialized in budget offerings. Over time, they divested in China, offering their devices across the world. Roughly half of their profit was earned outside of China as of 2018. Speculation on Huawei's ties to the Chinese government began to ramp up around this time. As Huawei boasted record profits year over year, some Western countries began to worry about privacy.
The head of the Chinese telecom giant Huawei denies being part of efforts to spy on the U.S.
We're stealing secrets, corporate espionage.
The company is a proxy used by Beijing for spying.
So they have been caught on a number of occasions sending data back to the Chinese government.
The theory was that the Chinese government could use Huawei devices to spy on the public. Huawei has always denied these claims, but there's always been some shady business going on with their devices. While there is no direct evidence of them spying, this isn't unheard of. A different Chinese company, Transsion, has gotten into hot water for this exact thing. In 2019, US President Donald Trump signed Huawei onto the Entity List, and many other allied countries followed suit. As part of the US and China's ongoing trade war, this meant that Huawei couldn't sell their products in America, and American companies were banned from doing business with Huawei. America, along with some of the other countries that followed suit, accounted for about 30 to 45% of Huawei's revenue. This was a huge hit. Along with cutting off their revenue stream, Huawei also lost their software. The software on their phones and computers were provided by Google and Microsoft, which were both American companies. And while Android was open source, many of the features that Android users relied on were exclusive to Google partnered companies. This meant that once the plan went into effect, Huawei was completely screwed, with 40% less customers and no software to sell on their devices. This restriction also limited their access to American parts, like high quality chips and most importantly, apps. Without Google or Microsoft, Huawei phones simply lacked almost every feature the modern consumer looked for in a phone. As said to CNN, for the millions of users outside of China, being cut off from Google's apps and services kills the attractiveness of a Huawei phone, said IDC analyst Brendan Ma. Without that access, the Huawei phone is a brick. He's completely correct. They tried to fight it in court, but nothing good came of it. They managed to get 4 consecutive extensions to the ban, and the bill finally went into effect in April of 2020. You can see over this time their market share grew, surpassing Xiaomi, but as soon as the ban took effect, they plummeted into relative obscurity. Huawei was seemingly dead in the water with very few options. The only choice they had now was to build their own OS and start selling phones in a much smaller market. So that's exactly what they did. Back in 2019, when the ban was first signed, Huawei announced something. They made it clear that they wanted to keep working in America, but they had an ace up their sleeve. Huawei spokesperson Glenn Schloss told CNN Huawei has been building an alternative operating system just in case it's needed. That's right, they had an Android alternative. They released it in August of 2019, before the ban finally took effect. They called it Harmony OS, or Hongmeng in the original Chinese. Built under the Open Harmony project, it was spiritually very similar to Android. The base code was fully open source, just like Android. It was based on Linux, just like Android. It even ran Android apps. That's how similar it was. Open Harmony project was more than just phones though. They were trying to build an OS that spanned across all of their devices. Computers, watches, vehicles, you name it. If it was a device that Huawei makes, their plan was to have it run Harmony OS. It was a huge project. They had a head start. They had been developing it for a few years, but I think they probably were forced to roll it out before it was really planned to. The original launch of Harmony was so similar to Android that people began digging. It was Ron Amadeo at ARS Technica who finally discovered Harmony was literally just a skin of base Android. Android. Quote, after hours of poking around on Harmony OS, I couldn't point to a single substantive change compared to Android. Other than a few renamed items, nothing is different. This was true for the first several versions of Harmony. It was mostly just set dressing slapped over the top of Android. Then in 2023, after 4 years of copying Android, they released their true software. Harmony OS Next was completely its own thing. Okay, so I've talked your ear off now about the history of this company. Let's actually try it now. This is the Huawei Mate 30. And it released in 2019, and it's originally was running Android, but it's upgradable to the most recent version of Harmony OS. Let's try it out. All right, so I'm gonna switch from my old Pixel phone to this even older Huawei phone. So let's get started. This thing is pretty fancy looking. All right, so I'm going to switch my SIM card into it, and then I can get started. 7 days starts now. Let me give you an idea of how cool this new operating system is. All other modern OSs use Unix as their base kernel. Here's a tree of some of the most popular OSs from the past. They all stem from Unix. Harmony OS was completely its own thing. They built it from the ground up using their own microkernel. Right now they're the only ones on the market who have done this. Visually, it still looks like Android or iOS, but code-wise it's its own unique thing. It no longer runs Android apps. This is a proper OS, no shortcuts. In fact, this might be the most impressive OS out today, considering that they did all that extra work. Okay, I've been using this device for a while now, and I have a couple of thoughts. It's more similar to iOS than it is to Android, which surprised me. It's very colorful and kind of has that rounded, glassy look that new iOS has. It is just as customizable as Android though, and there's a lot of cool things that it does that are almost like an evolution of Android. Like Android has that like multitasking Windows thing that's a little bit better than iOS's. I think Huawei's is even better. You can put it up into a little corner, move it all around just like Android, but it's easier to engage, and then it opens up just like a computer tab, honestly, and this is super intuitive. Along with that, there's a lot of the common stuff that you see in Phone UI, except the animations are a little bit different, which threw me off at first, but I think it's pretty cool. I don't even think I've cracked the surface on all of the different features on here, because it is just, you know, like an evolution of Android almost. Now, like I said in chapter 1, Huawei is definitely taking cues from Apple in terms of design, with a little bit of Android thrown in there for good measure. I'm not saying they're completely unique, but they're definitely innovating. There's a lot of small software ease of use features that I wish existed on my Android phone, but there's also a few problems. First off, it comes with so much bloatware. There's literally hundreds of apps on here. There are a couple of problems related to my region, and that's just because this phone was never intended to be sold in the US. It's being weird with my carrier. I ended up just using Wi-Fi whenever I can, but when I'm out and about, it doesn't get super great signal. And a lot of the UI and the apps are in Chinese, and I just can't change that. That's not my fault. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are stopping me from making this my main phone, but as a phone that was trying to expand upon what Android offers, I think that this is a really, really great device. I don't mean to complain. For such a small share of the market, this is a genuinely cool OS. I'm glad to have been able to try it. However, it is clear that this device was not designed to be released in US markets. I see a lot of similarities with other Chinese devices I've reviewed, but it is an amazing product. For such an amazing product, why isn't it doing that well?
How's it, dude? When it comes to my hearing, I'm pretty protective. Most people don't know that your hearing is actually a depreciating asset. Loud or prolonged sounds can permanently damage your hearing. The thing most people don't realize is your hearing doesn't come back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Any loud or prolonged sound is enough to do damage over time. As a musician and video editor, I almost always have some sort of music in my ears. That's where Hears comes in. They offer high-quality earplugs to protect your hearing. Using a high-fidelity attenuation filter, the Hears earplugs let in 93% of natural sounds while blocking out any harsh or damaging sounds. What makes these earplugs different is they don't just block sound, they filter it. So you're still hearing all the natural sounds around you, just not the ones that would damage your hearing. And because there's no electronics involved, no battery, no charge, no latency, what you hear is the natural sound, just filtered. They offer a couple of different levels of sound rejection and a couple of really cool colors. I personally chose the black and blue colors. They fit comfortably into your ear and fade into the background. You forget they're even there.
I know I'll be using mine whenever I'm editing. I'll just pop them in underneath my headphones, or if I go to a live show, I'll put them in to help protect my hearing.
The Hears earplugs are able to protect your hearing while preserving the rich sound quality of your environment, all without requiring a charge. So what are you waiting for? Grab your Hears earplugs today at hears.com/OwenCookTech and make sure to use my discount code OWEN10 for 10% off. That's code OWEN10 at hears.com/OwenCookTech for 10% off. Follow this link on screen or it'll be in the pinned comment down below. Alright, back to the video.
Okay, on paper, Harmony OS is very promising. It's cool, it works fine, in many cases it's got more features than Android, despite being newer. I'm not saying it's better or worse, just comparable. The weird thing is, depending on where you're from, you've either never heard of Harmony, or you think it's the greatest thing ever. I mean, look at these two opposing comments on one of my posts. These are just two people that are from very different regions of Earth. Just how popular Harmony OS is completely contested though. I talked a little about this in my OS video, but I'll expand here. Sources cite wildly different numbers for the percentage of the market that Harmony currently occupies. At the most, Harmony is at 4% of the OS market, but other sources don't even cite it. From my understanding, it seems because they don't sell in the US and some of the other markets, they literally don't have to report their sales numbers, so it's kind of just a guessing game. And it's really interesting to think about because it is a very promising OS, but because of that ban, they can't access like 40% of the world's users. That's what caused their fall from making 10% of the world's phones down to around 4%.
Hey, I didn't really get into this in the video, but I thought I probably should expand here. They have actually been caught spying. There was some communications equipment in Canada that was bugged. Also, the founder's daughter, who was also an executive, in 2018, she was arrested when she got off a plane in Canada for charges of espionage. There's all sorts of stuff I could have gotten into. There's some pretty solid proof, but Huawei still denies all this. Anyway, all that stuff I just talked about will be in the sources down below, like always. Alright, back to the video.
That combined with the press that they've been getting around some of these privacy concerns. If you do use a Harmony OS phone, let me know down in the comments below, and if you want to learn more, go check it out down there, because those people have way more experience than I do. I'd really love to hear from people who experience this ecosystem around them and personally on a day-to-day basis. As for me, I've been using this phone for about a week now. It's really neat to experience something new. It's kind of like when I first switched to Android in high school. I'm not going to stick with it for the reasons I cited earlier, but it was really an awesome experience. I've also been using this Huawei watch, and yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say there. It's kind of just like an Apple Watch clone. It's been interesting to look into the history of a brand new OS from this company. While completely unheard of in some regions, it's basically the main thing over in China. And while obviously this experiment was interesting, I don't know how I feel about potentially installing 2 spy devices in my home. I have more videos just like this one. My Instagram is owencook.mp4, and party on, dudes.